Here is someone who shows up rain or shine, wind, hail, or just plain boiling hot sunshine. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time. It is time for Food for Mood with Dr. Judy Wurtman. Judy is the co-author of the Serotonin Power Diet, serotonin.Diet.com. Also, Simon loses his tummy. Ladies and gentlemen, from what is probably a very beautiful Boston this morning, here is Judy Wurtman.
Good morning. You're absolutely right, Marshall. It is stunningly beautiful, and all of the leaves are in leaf. Trees are in leaf, and they're beautiful blossoms on
color.
Many of the fruit trees.
There's color.
Yes, yeah. and the tulips are out. It really is spring. I know it never lasts very long, but we really enjoy it while it's here.
That's exactly.
That's right.
We enjoy the coming of it, the actual unfolding of it. It really is an amazing thing what it does to your temperament.
Yes, and every day it's like the trees have suddenly expanded in size, or the leaves have. I mean, you almost can see the grass growing. I mean, it's really astonishing. And it never fails. It's wonderful.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
So intuitive eating.
Well, Jill, I have to confess that I really was not aware of this relatively new approach to an eating program that takes away all of the restrictions and rules and suggestions of normal diet programs. Normally when people think about what they should eat or not eat, we have a whole list of regulations, or we're told to go on cleanse diets or fasting or eat prepared foods, but we're never really given the choice ourselves as to what we should be eating or not eating, because it's assumed that if we knew that, we would never have to be on a diet. We would always eat properly. But intuitive eating says, wait, let's go back to the beginning. You are perfectly capable of deciding what you want to eat or you don't want to eat based on what you just feel like eating. And if you rely on your stomach to tell you what you should be eating and when and how much, rather than your emotions or the fact that you're walking past a bakery shop and the newly baked bread really smells wonderful, or the cookies, you will always eat appropriately, and you will certainly never gain weight or you'll be able to lose weight. Basically it says, eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full, eat what your body requires. Your body certainly can be dependent on to tell you what it needs, and therefore you will always choose the right foods. It seems absolutely ideal. Frankly, Jill, it doesn't even work with my dog, who will certainly continue eating if I give him something tasty, and not eat if I give him something that he really doesn't particularly care for, like kibble. But even my dog doesn't eat intuitively, but this program says that we really have the capability of doing so. The problem is, there are a lot of problems. The problem is that we don't always
there he is.
The dog. Here he goes, Simon. He heard me talking about him.
Simon says, I don't like kibble, and I just want everybody to know that even though I am blind and elderly, I have my very specific desires, and I finally have busted through onto this radio show. Hi, Simon. Have you lost your tummy?
Exactly. And I won't stop eating when I'm full if there's something good to eat.
That's
right.
right.
And that's a problem with us. Okay, so there's one study that shows that if you take people who are on this, quote, intuitive eating program and compare it to people who are on a calorie-controlled diet, the people on the intuitive eating program who eat what they want and when and how much didn't lose any weight. And the people who were on a diet in which they were controlling their calories did. But that was only one study, and maybe there'll be others that show intuitive eating really is permissive in terms of losing weight. But more importantly, do we really make the right food choices? When I wrote this, and somebody wrote to me and said, I have heart problems in my family, and I know that I should be following, a low-fat, diet with lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, high fiber. But he said, my intuitive eating wants me to go to McDonald's and eat a bacon cheeseburger or a double cheeseburger, or I want to go and eat a whole pizza. That's what I want to eat intuitively. And if I listened to that, I probably would have a heart attack. So we can't always depend on our own internal nature to tell us what to eat. And more important, this intuitive eating program doesn't take into consideration that, for example, if you are on antidepressants and the antidepressants is sort of hijacking your control over eating. You will be eating, for example, one meal following the completion of the previous meal. I mean, people who are on certain medications, for example, those for bipolar disorder, often find themselves eating 2 meals in a row because the drugs take away their ability to feel full, and so people will just find themselves wanting to eat a second supper or a second lunch, or they'll find themselves wanting to snack as soon as they put down their fork from eating their dinner. Is that intuitive eating? Well, not really, because the drugs are sort of taking over their intuitions. But according to this program, that really is not even something that they're thinking about. Or women who are premenstrual syndromes want to eat a great deal of carbohydrate, because when they eat carbohydrate foods, they make serotonin, and we showed many years ago that serotonin takes away some of the depression and the anger and the irritability and the fatigue and even the cognitive problems that come with the symptoms of PMS, premenstrual syndrome. But the intuitive eating program says you must never, never, never eat according to your emotional need. You must only eat according to what your stomach wants. Stop saying never eat out of emotional need. But, Jill, we know that sometimes the brain makes sense when it says, eat some carbohydrates, make more serotonin, take away some of these PMS symptoms. The brain may be just as wise as the stomach in telling us what to eat, but the intuitive eating program will have none of it. And so I think it's a very simplistic program that a lot of people are falling into because it gives them permission to eat when they want. It gives them permission to ignore all the programs that say, eat this and don't eat that. And they feel happy. But is it good for them? Is it really going to deal with their emotional need? Is it really going to deal with problems that people have who are on antidepressants and other drugs in not being able to control their eating? I doubt it.
And the thing is, if you are, it's so hard. It's just, but it makes people feel better. If you're going to, what I'm trying to say is, as I'm sure you discovered running various weight loss programs and consulting with people, if you can't engage them into eating something that they feel like they've got some control over, if you it's just so tricky, because who wants to follow a diet? You follow the rules all your life, see where it gets you, blah blah blah. There's something about that weight of having to,
sure,
2 grapefruit in the morning, when they have Rice Krispies, it's just so tedious. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you have something like intuitive eating, quote, it sounds very a la carte. I can custom make this myself. Unfortunately, leaves the door open for the same problems that got you into the fix in the first place. But I don't know what to do.
That's right. Look, I mean, it's like saying to myself, I don't really feel like exercising. I want to sit and watch a rerun of something or another. Or just sit down and read a magazine. I don't really. My intuition tells me I don't really want to exercise. I just simply sit here. Well, if you did that, you would have, and you had continued your sedentary life, you would have all sorts of problems. But it would be something that felt comfortable for you, and that's what this eating program says. I want to eat something that makes me feel comfortable, and that I really feel like having. But the crazy thing is that it says depend on your stomach. The stomach doesn't tell you what you want to eat. It's really your brain and your whole body. For example, if you are thirsty, you have a whole set of hormones in your body that tell you are thirsty. You need to increase your blood volume. You don't sort of rely on your intuition to tell you that. And again, sometimes, for example, if you are recovering from the flu and you really need extra protein, because you do in order to get over this infection, your brain and other controls in your body will say you should be eating more protein. It's not just based on your stomach. And I think the people who've developed this program really don't know very much about how the body works, but they have this program that is so tempting to follow. And if you want to do it, fine, try it, but then realize that you have to be very careful about what your food selection is. You can't simply live on potato chips, French fries, and bacon cheeseburgers, because that is not going to keep you healthy.
Don't forget the Fritos.
Yes, with cheese, melted cheese.
Absolutely, Doritos with nachos. That's it. That's what I was looking for. All right.
All right.
Happy
on
spring.
to common sense next week.
Thank you very much, Dr. Judy Wurtman, Food for Mood.
And you can hear Judy, of course, every Thursday morning and rebroadcast also on the weekends.
It's true.
Right here on RobinHoodRadio.com on demand.